Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome back to the Zoom Racing League for the Division 3 Mexican Grand Prix. I am Peter Giordano, and today I'm joined in the box by Sid. How are you doing today, my man?
I'm doing great, Peter.
Alright,
Excited to have a good broadcast with you.
yeah, definitely. Always a pleasure to be streaming with you. So we're already live with some qualifying action at the moment, about half the grid out for some for their outlaps at the moment. Who are your three favorites? We'll say for pole as of now.
As of now, I think Saira is one of the top contenders, and I think Raz has a quite a good chance at it. And of course, we can't forget about Cal. He's one of the fastest guys in D3.
Yeah, definitely. Another one I'd like to add to that is Ethan Patel for Technic Speedy. Um, he was on a rampant rampage last week. I would say possibly faster than his teammate Cal. And after his incidents with Syra, you'd think he'd want some revenge this weekend.
Yeah, for sure. Ethan Patel has definitely been on the rise in that second Red Bull seat, and we love to see it here at the Zoom Racing League. He's one of the oldest members in the league, and we love to see guys rise up after they've been struggling for a while.
Yeah, exactly. I'm actually gonna ride on board with Ethan Patel for his first lap here to see what he's capable of doing. There's a little bit of a snap on the exit of turn three, so that'll cost him some time all the way down the second straight. But it is a banker, so shouldn't be too much of a deciding factor.
This portion here at the S's is one of the trickiest for me. He's doing it pretty well right now. Doesn't seem to any snap overs here or anything like that, and he's kept it clean. So it should be a solid time.
Yeah, definitely. The S's are a pretty tough section of the track because it's not completely flat. It invites you to try it completely flat, but not quite yet. Let's see what you can do when he crosses the line. He goes 16.5 or 16.6 really. Raz jumps in by about two hundredths of a second. And Cal with a 15.9 immediately. Really
Wow.
great lap from him.
Early signs of dominance by Cal.
For sure. Something that we've been pretty used to in Division 3 so far. Cal has just been yeah, tearing it up.
I'm sure the Red Bull team principal is quite happy to see that. Uh, now
Wild Fury
let's.
crosses the line. 16.2.
That's a really good time for the
Yeah,
Mercedes as well.
definitely. Mercedes have been probably Division 3 is their strongest division. Spinini crosses the line to go 17.1. So we have a couple more drivers finishing out their laps. Looks like next driver to cross the line is going to be Zux, but or Joe Guron, as he actually makes a mistake going into turn three. So looks like he'll just be saving his battery possibly to go for another lap.
She has just started his lap.
Just ride on board with him. Taking turns one, two, and three very cleanly.
Quite aggressive with his inputs in the first sector, but it seems to be working out well for him. So that was quite an interesting line for him over there. He avoided a lot of the curbs that most people usually try to take, but it still seemed to be pretty quick to me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll find out as he's rounding out the last corner, about to cross the line. Goes all the way down to first gear for that last bit of the track. Goes 17.4,
Oh,
which is good enough for P7 at the moment.
for Alfa Romeo, that's not exactly a terrible time,
No, it
but
isn't.
there's room to improve, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, Alfa Romeo fighting for possibly even P4 in the combined constructors championship. Although they'd have to get a mega last couple of races to be able to jump Aston Martin, who had a very good race in Division 4 yesterday. But I mean, Buffalo Trace has been a brilliant team principal this year, I'd say, and I'm sure a lot of people would agree with me when I say he's probably the team principal of the year. Bringing his guys from, I believe he was eighth last year, now up to fifth so far. So last season, sorry, up to fifth so far. So yeah, really impressive.
Yeah, some of his picks have been just magnificent, especially, for example, in D2, his his driver is leading the drivers' championship, so
Yeah,
you
and
couldn't ask for a better driver.
I also believe that they're leading the constructors championship in Division 2 as well.
Yeah, so amazing job from him and the team. No, no credit to be shared. Division 3 hasn't been the strongest division, but this week we have Labib in there as a reserve, so things might change. He's a very good driver. No time on the board yet, but Labib is on a lap right now in the second sector.
Yeah, just entering Sector 3. Khabib, see what he can put on the board. Yeah, Division 3. For me, haven't been too bad, but they're fifth place right now. A little bit far off from Aston Martin in fourth, so realistically, it looks like fifth place might be the most that they can achieve as the lead goes ninth. But Division 3 is mostly, in the constructors at least, a battle between Red Bull and Mercedes. Mercedes 386 points. Red Bull only 10 points behind with 386. Sorry, 376.
Oh, yeah, that seems like a really close battle and something that we should keep an eye out throughout this race and the rest of the races.
Definitely gonna come down to the wire for sure, unless one of these teams makes a vital mistake and has a really poor weekend. Wild Fury starts another hot lap. I thought he was finishing one.
Ethan Patel on his second lap and he's up by almost 4 tenths as of now.
Yeah, really good for Ethan Patel so far. Gonna come to the end of Sector 2. Yeah, still about 4 tenths up. So quite impressive. Let's see if he can make up any more time in this third sector.
He's going to need a bit more than that to beat his teammate, but even a P2 will be great for Red Bull. And that's exactly where he goes. P2 for Ethan Patel as of now. So it's a Red Bull 1-2 at the moment. And his teammate Cad is just starting out another lap, trying to improve on his already great banker.
Let's see what Cal can do.
Wild Fury spoiling the party for Red Bull with a 16.079, which is fractionally quicker than Ethan Patel. He splits the Red Bull into and takes P2 away from Ethan for now. Great
Sid,
job from him.
we have Hudson in the chat saying that both of us are a little bit quiet, so you, if you could turn up your volume just a little bit.
Hold on, let me take a look at that. Is that better?
To me, it sounds about the same.
think you need to turn me up on your end.
Uh, unfortunately, I actually have you as high as I can get you. So
Yeah, my input volume is as high as it will go. Maybe I can try using another mic. I also have a spare one.
see, hold on, I'm gonna try something real quick. All right, yeah, let us know if this is better. Just turned down the game a little bit and turned the desktop audio up in total. So sorry for that.
While we were busy doing that, Cal has improved on his time by about 4 tenths and he's now half a second clear of P2
Oh wow,
with a
really good
time
lap
of
from him.
15.5. So that's amazing from Cal so far.
Yeah,
He
that's
seems
very
really
good lap.
dominant around this track.
See who's our next driver to cross the line? Looks
Looks
like
like a
it's gonna be
Mercedes.
Klinsman. Actually, he's invalidated, so it's gonna be the McLaren of Eric McNerney. Although he hasn't turned on his battery, so maybe he's going into the pits for an in lap.
So maybe he's going on the lap right now. He's starting one right now.
Yes, he's starting a lap. All right.
Behind him we have Big Mama Frank coming to the line, about to finish a lap. And he's one of the he's
It's
oh
actually
he's coming
in
into the
lap.
pits.
Yeah. It's Joe Guron. No, he's actually invalidated his lap. Unfortunately, we have Poltergeist or Poltergeese. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce.
Sire coming to the line. That should be a good time, I think. Yeah. P6, not bad.
Yeah, really solid lap. I'm sure Thermo is going to be pretty happy about that one. Jumping on board with Eric McNerney, who's about 2 tenths up at the moment. Just coming through the S section up to sector 3, 4 tenths up now. This looks like it could be a really good lap from Eric with his signature aggressive driving style, just cranking that wheel, but looks like he went a little bit deep. And I think he's abandoned that lap, unfortunately. Cushy's on his in lap as well. We have Josh Barnsley about to start his lap. So we'll check back with him later. Or actually, we'll go on board with him right now because he's actually the only guy on track out for a lap at the moment.
Yeah, all the other drivers might be out in a few minutes.
Yeah, so this is the order for now. Ooh, Josh Barnsley with a big snap coming out of turn 3. That's going to cost him a huge chunk of time.
Yeah, he's
3 tenths down.
about,
Yeah.
Not a great start.
If I'm Josh Barnsley, I might be trying to get into the pits as fast as I can, but I don't know. I don't think he has enough time.
Yeah, he has abandoned this lap as far as I can tell. He has turned off his battery.
It's quite a short lap, so he maybe he might have enough time, but it takes those guys in the pits a while to get your car in and out again.
Yeah, I just wish they could do like a pit stop in the qualifying and just be ready
Yeah,
with the tires.
yeah.
But unfortunately they don't. So this might be tricky for him. Hopefully he can get out for another lap. Or maybe, yeah, he's gonna try another lap on this set of tires.
There you go, 70% battery as he crosses the line. Hopefully for him that will be enough. Let's see what Klinsman can do. I wonder if has Klinsman gone out for for 2 outlaps, or is this a game glitch saying that it's a hot lap when it's an out?
Oh, I'm not really sure, and it doesn't seem like he's on a lap right now either. He hasn't turned on his battery.
Yeah, I don't know if he's forgotten or what.
He hasn't activated his DRS either. I'm not sure what's going on with the Mercedes.
Yeah, I think there's a glitch. As you get to sector 3, it stops saying that it's an outlap, and it just says it's a hot lap. So, a bit odd. He's gonna board with Josh Barnsley. Coming into sector 3, he was very, very slightly down on his time, or up. I don't know, he was slower than before. See what he can do as he crosses the line. Improves by 7/10, however,
7/10?
stays E14.
Not exactly a great result for Aston Martin. Second driver.
Looks like
Number.
Poltergeist is unfortunately invalidated their lap, so they're going to be starting another one now. We have Klinsmann about to start his lap. Spanini about to finish his. So let's see where Spanini can put himself on the board. Spanini goes up to P8 from P10, making up 2 positions. Dow, I believe, next across the line. Dow has actually invalidated his lap. So it looks like it's going to be Ethan Patel next across the line. Ethan Patel goes P2 with a 15.89. Great lap from him. Joe Guron, will he finally put in a lap? No, he has not. Eric McNerney also into the pits. See what Wild Fury can do. P2 splits the Red Bulls just a hundredth and a bit faster than Ethan Patel. Raz cannot improve and stays P4.
That's been real tight between Wild Fury and Ethan Patel so far.
Yeah, that
You
was,
can see
that was anyone's lap, really. Big Mama Frank decides to head into the pits. He must not have been improving on his time before. Looks like Klinsmann is going to be our last driver across the line. Will he be able to do anything? Will he be able to jump Cal? No, he isn't. He goes into the pits.
Release Panini, maybe not.
Now Spanini's on an in-lap, so I believe that will be your starting order for this Grand Prix. So we have Cal, Wild Fury, Ethan Patel, Raz, and Klinsmann in the top 5. Poltergeist in 6th, Labib with a great lap in Alfa Romeo. Good enough for P7. Spanini in 8th place. Dan and Cushy rounding out the top 10. We have Eric McNerney, Big Mama Frank, Dow, Josh Barnsley, and Joe Guron, who was unable to set a lap, rounding out the grid.
It seems like we have been set up for an interesting Mexican Grand Prix. Let's hope it turns out that way, and let's hope they can keep it clean, because there have been a lot of incidents at Zandvoort last week.
Yeah, hopefully this race can be cleaner than we've seen in the past. We know that these guys are capable of it, but it's coming to that point in the season where everyone's getting just a little bit desperate for some points for both themselves and their teams. So, you know, sometimes it can get a little bit scrappy because of that.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Especially the fight at the top can get ugly, like we've seen in real life F1 last season.
Yeah, exactly. We have all the Red Bulls and Mercedes very close today. All of them within the top 5, with Raz being the odd man out in the Aston Martin. So hopefully they'll be able to put on a good show for us today.
Yeah, I think Klinsmann, we should keep a special eye on Klinsmann, because his race pace is usually quite a lot better than his qualifying pace, and
Yeah.
he has managed to get himself in the top 5, so it should be a good Good race for him.
Yeah, I'm thinking that whichever of these two teams doesn't make the mistake will come out ahead. It's getting a little bit cloudy. I wonder if at some point in the race it might start raining.
Mhm. That should throw a spanner into the works. That should be quite interesting
Yeah, that'd
for
be
the
very
viewers.
interesting.
Not something that drivers look forward to. Changeable conditions are some of the trickiest, whether sooner or later, and that could make or break your race.
Yeah, for sure.
Lots of Mexican flags being waved around in the crowd. The atmosphere at this track is just something else. Don't you agree, Peter?
Yeah, it's always a great atmosphere here in Mexico. Um, Especially now in real life with Checo driving for a top team, it's been even better.
Yeah, the podium last year was just incredible. The celebrations were really nice to watch.
Yeah, even with Checo, he didn't even win the race, just on the podium, which was something to possibly just be straight expected from him in that car. That the celebrations were just amazing, and even as someone who's not a Red Bull fan, it was great to watch. Just yeah, as a Formula One fan.
For sure, for sure. The Red Bull team principal is going to be hoping for, like it was in last year's real race.
Yeah, and look at the strategy so far. So we have the top four, all starting on the medium tire. Klinsman, really, but a different strategy by starting on the hard tires. His start will be crucial to the end of the race. Portuguese with the medium tire, Labib and Spanini, both of the drivers on the hard tire, except for Joe Gurron starting last with the medium. So what do you think is the better of these two strategies? Starting on the hards or starting on the medium?
I think depending, you can put them on any time in the race, and they usually make it to the end. But yeah, the going on the hard tire isn't exactly a bad strategy either. It just means you have to go longer on the first stint.
Right, right. Yeah, I think the hard tire is a better strategy. Actually, we'll skip to that. It's 5 lights out, and away we go. Riding on board with Portuguese on the medium tires. Klinsman's gotten a mega start despite being on the quote-unquote worst tires. Just better of it. Just backing out a couple of drivers, and Klinsman and Poltergeist battling throughout turns 1, 2, and 3. Poltergeist is pushed a little bit wide but stays ahead. So it looks like,
Right,
oh, that's
spinning up.
Spanini. Spanini has been sent all the way to the back. I wonder if he has any sort of damage whatsoever. It looks like his wing is intact, so maybe just a spin. Not sure if it was caused by any sort of contact.
I'd like to point out Ethan Patel starting P3 and now in P10. He has had a horrible lap so far.
Oh, you're right. I didn't even notice that as Klinsman gets past Poltergeist. But yeah, Ethan Patel. What has happened there?
The top three have already broken out of DRS from Klinsmann in P4.
Ethan Patel going down the inside of Cushing now for... But Dan has spun around. Chaos on this first lap. And now we have Labib and Adal fighting, heading down towards turn 1. Labib is able
coming
to...
out.
Yeah, Labib comes out on top.
Great start by him. He's up a few positions already.
6 positions. Ethan Patel unfortunately dropped 5 places. Cushy up 1. BMF up 2. Zucks up 4. Eric McNerney and Keisler down 1 and up 1. And then Dan and Spanini unfortunately have both been sent to the back of the pack.
Yeah, unfortunate for the Ferrari. Not exactly sure what happened between them. We'll have to take a look later on. but hopefully he can make a recovery from this first lap. As the top three have already broken out of GRS and now are starting to gap E4 of Saira. But Saira has broken out of DRS from Klinsmann, so in just 3 laps, things are starting to spread out. This field is starting to spread out.
Oh, is Poltergeist Syra? I'm sorry, Syra.
Yeah,
It's easier to say Syra. As Ethan Patel's actually made contact with the Dow as he's overtook him. I'm not, based on the camera angle, it was a little difficult to tell who initiated the contact and if anyone was at fault, but we may see a ticket for that after the race.
Ethan Patel trying to make his way back up the field, chasing down Labib at the moment.
I mean, he's done pretty well so far. As third lap, I believe he dropped down to 10th after the first lap, so up
Yeah.
3 spots already. 33 laps left. Looking fairly decent for Ethan Patel.
Sure, still a lot of cars to make his way through, and he shouldn't have a lot of trouble doing that as his pace has been pretty good this week. Let's see how hard Labib makes it for him. Not using any battery, neither of them are using any battery, and yeah, he's gonna stay behind. Maybe make a move in the second DRS straight.
Yeah, it looks like Ethan was content to stay behind the beat for now, as BMW of a Dow.
Ooh,
Yeah, that was close.
yeah.
Just jumped on board to Ethan, uh, as he backed out of that move.
He, at first, I believe he thought that he had the move done because of a better exit, but Labib might just be running a slightly lower downforce setup because Ethan Patel had to use some of his battery and still was not able to make the move.
Yeah, Labib with 70% of his battery still compared to Ethan Patel. Actually going down the inside, not using any battery for that. Looks like Labib is just not going to fight too hard, just let Ethan Patel through, because he knows that he's the faster driver, and Labib is only just reserving today, so probably
And
for the best.
yeah, and Labib is on the hard tire at the
Right,
moment, so
right. So
it's,
now Ethan
it's the
has,
wiser move to
yeah,
let him by.
actually it looks like, no, Labib isn't going to be fighting back. But now Ethan Patel has 4.3 seconds to make up to catch the next car. So we'll see if he'll be able to do that.
Yeah, top three is sort of just running away with it. 3 seconds clear of P4 of Saira. Raz and Wild Fury sticking close to one another, but Cal is still out of DRS range. Wild Fury needs to find just a bit more pace and try to get within DRS of Cal if he wants a chance of winning this race.
Yeah, for sure. And he also needs to make sure that Freddie Rizal stays behind him. Who, he's only not only he's 8 tenths behind right now, which is a comfortable gap for Wild Fury. Not overly comfortable, of course, but it's comfortable enough. But he definitely doesn't want Raz to get any closer than that.
Yeah, that's good. You can see at the end of the straight here, Freddy Russell got within 5 tenths of him. So that that straight alone, without any use of battery, is worth 3 tenths just with the help of the DRS. So he doesn't want Freddy Russell to be sticking in his DRS for too long.
Yeah, and they have relatively similar batteries. Wild Fury with 60% and Raz with 50, so not too much of a difference there. Looking back, Ethan has already made up about 7 tenths on Klinsmann in the Mercedes. So really strong laps so far. I wonder if it's just that medium tire is so much better than that hard.
Yeah, it looks to be that way for the moment. But of course, the hard tire runners right now, who are somewhat struggling with the harder compound, will get the benefit of the medium tire at the end of the race, which will be incredible. As the gap between Wild Fury and Cal has been just 1 second, so Wild Fury has made up some time,
Yeah, Wild
but he
Fury.
won't he won't
Sorry.
get DRS on the second DRS straight here because the detection point for both straights is at the sector 3 before the final corner.
We're starting to see a bit of the same trend that we saw in Division 4, where very early on, all the drivers seem to spread out by pretty decent sized gaps. I wonder, is that just the nature of the track, or why do you think that is?
Yeah, I believe it might just be the nature of the tracks. There's a few high downforce sections, a few S's in sector 2, and that just might that just like depends on what kind of setup you're running. Someone might be running a low downforce setup, and you might be able to break away from them in the second sector, and they might catch back up to you in on the main straight. But yeah, it seems like there's a group of 4 cars bunched up from P7 up to P10. That might be the most interesting thing at the moment on track.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of a gap forming behind the Alfa Romeo of Labib as it's like Cushy is trying for a move around the outside of his teammate and actually might lose a position to Joe Guron in the AlphaTauri because of it. These three going 3 wide.
Yeah, Alfa Romeo making sort of a barricade for Joel Guron, making sure he doesn't go past. Still side by side. That is not exactly helping the race.
Yeah, I'm not sure how Buffalo Trace is gonna be feeling about this.
Bushi has spent up a lot of battery trying to make that move, while Labib, his teammate, is on 80%, more than 80%. So not
Yeah,
the wisest move from Kushi, I'd say so.
Labib has been very smart with his battery usage so far. It looks like Adao has had a bit of a moment in the S's. Looks like it was just a spin, didn't hit the wall or anything, so no safety car. Probably not going to be coming into the pits. But yeah, just unfortunate for him, really.
Yeah. As you mentioned, Labib with the smart battery management, and that's something I've been noticing throughout the season and last season as well. He's always making sure that he has a lot of battery left and he doesn't use it unless it's like really necessary. And that is something that a lot of people seem to be really bad at managing their batteries.
Yeah, having that skill is very important, especially in this year's edition of the game. With the battery being so hard to regenerate at most tracks, it's quite difficult to be able to manage it correctly. It's very tempting to use your battery just to catch up or stay behind with the person ahead, but you just have to think but when you'll really need it. And I think that's something that Labib does a little bit better than a lot of other drivers, hence his success in Division 4 this season.
Sure, for sure. That is a crucial part of it, I think, behind his success. Anyway, in the top 3, not much change there. Cal has managed to increase his gap over Wild Fury somehow. But Raz still content behind Wild Fury too.
Yeah, it's a pretty long race, so I'm sure Raz isn't gonna be rushing to make any moves as of right now.
That's a wiser move from him. There's no need to make moves at the moment.
Joe just eager to get ahead of these Alfa Romeos, just holding them up. Now Big Mama Frank actually joining the fight as well in the Ferrari. Big Mama Frank, let's see what kind of battery he's on. 65%, so doing a little bit better than the two cars ahead of him. As Cushy's actually lost the DRS of Labib. No, never mind. He gets just back under that 1 second.
Yeah, Kushi seems like he's not on par with Labib at the moment.
Actually, Cushy has not gotten the DRS. As he crossed the detection point, he was more than a second behind, so that might be detrimental for Cushy's race. Might go as Joel has a big snap. So this is going to start getting very interesting.
Adao with another moment in Sector 2, causing some yellow flags, but
That's
he
Joel
has
into the
managed to
pits.
get going again.
Joe Guron has head into the pits, so bit of an early stop, don't you think?
Yeah, is this really the time to be stopping right now? I'm not exactly sure.
Maybe he thinks he's losing so much time behind these cars ahead of him that it's better to just pit this early into very, very clean air than it is to just stay behind for a couple more laps.
Yeah, that seems to be the most logical answer I can think of.
Looks like Cushy's gotten back into the DRS of Labib as Ethan Patel gets a 3-second time penalty. And actually, looking at Ethan, the gap to Klinsmann has actually grown. Went down to started at 4.2 seconds, I believe. Went down to around 3.4, but now is back up to 5. So looks like those hard tires have started to become a little bit better than the mediums.
Mediums wearing off, maybe? Maybe Joel Goron's move was the smart move then.
Yeah, Joel might be pulling the big brain move of the century right now.
Yeah. Let's see if any drivers follow him in. Follow in his footsteps and pit from the mediums onto the hards early on. Both the Alpha Tauris have done their pit stop, so they should be good to go till the end of the race.
Has Adao? No, Adao hasn't pit.
I think he has. I'm not sure. Let me take a look. No, he hasn't. It's actually Josh Barnsley that has pit.
Yes.
That's my bad. Yeah.
Josh Barnsley, I wonder what... It looks like he's going for a 2-stop of some sort. I guess he'd have to, because there's no way that those mediums are going to make it to the end of the race, as Labib and Joe Garon both get 3-second time penalties. So it looks like about now drivers are starting to get their third warning. Yeah, this is a track where it's very easy to get track limits. So not overly surprising, as we had quite a lot of penalties last night in the Division 4 race.
Yeah, the curbs over here are not exactly aggressive in most part of the track, so people aren't punished too much for going wide, except that the only way they're punished is by time penalties, and yeah.
It looks to me like Big Mama Frank has actually just been let by Labib. So that's very kind. Thank you, Labib. I didn't even have to tell you to do that.
Not exactly sure why that has been done, but
as Spadini and Eric McNerney fighting behind them, going too wide through the double apex turn 6. Eric McNerney just gonna tuck in behind Spanini, so it's like it might stay like this for now, unless Eric thinks, all right, I'll just wait until the main straight and I'll get you there. As we see both Cal and Wild Fury go into the pit, but Freddie Rizal staying out. So I wonder, will Freddie be going for a little bit of an overcut here. Where will he get not exactly undercut by Callan Wild Fury, but maybe the gap extended a little bit by those two.
He might just drop out of the DRS range from Wild Fury, and that might not be good for his race. It depends on how good his pace is in clean air. He needs to push right now and pit as soon as possible on this lap.
We have Eric McNerney and Spanini fighting again. A little bit of contact as Eric McNerney just goes into the back of Spanini a little bit. It looks like Spanini's managed to stay ahead for now. Let's see what
Cal on
Raz
his
is going to
outlap.
do. Yeah, Fred goes into the pits.
Yeah, that is the wise move, I believe. Cal on his outlap, about to catch up with his teammate,
Wow.
Ethan Patel.
It doesn't look like Fred used a ton of battery during that in lap.
It seems that way.
So maybe he wasn't pushing that much in the in lap as Cal goes by. Now Wild Fury is actually behind Fred.
But
But he's gonna be going
it's-
down the inside. He has the warmer tires. Fred defending as best as he can, but those cold hards coming out of the pits aren't doing well for him as he has a snap coming out of turn 3, but stays ahead of Wild Fury for now. Wild Fury gonna be trying for a move on Fred, but just can't get it done. So
Wow,
very good
so-
strategy from Freddie Brazil.
Yeah, that is a really good overcut by Freddie Russell. Still not over. They're
No, it
going
isn't.
side by side.
Heading into turn
Uh,
7, Freddy with the inside line, but Wild Fury trying for a possible switchback all over the back of Raz, with just the tires are just so much warmer for Wild Fury as he's already had done his outlap. Just can't
Yeah.
get past.
And Freddie Russell's tires might be warmed up now, so that advantage has been diminished for Wild Fury.
You would think,
But he gets the DRS now, which
right?
is really powerful. It gains you about 3 tenths, and he's about 2 tenths behind, so it should be pretty easy for him.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that Fred's gonna fight this too much, and he is actually. He's fighting this one quite hard. Yeah, trying to stick it around the outside. Excellent defense from Raz. Oh no, he actually has a snap of oversteer. I'm not sure if that was oversteer or if he actually got tapped by Wild Fury, but now he's behind.
And there may have been a bit of contact, but yeah, in the end, Wild Fury comes out on top, but as quite close behind him. So this is not over yet. This is the fight for P2, and it's getting exciting.
Yeah, Raz has definitely woken up. He's decided I'm gonna attack Wild Fury now, and I'm gonna pass him. But we'll see if that happens, or will Wild Fury just stay ahead? As Raz gets a 3-second time penalty, that could be crucial towards the end of this race for him.
Yeah, Raz with the time penalty and Ethan Patel with the time penalty. Some of our contenders to be top 5 finishers at this race. That could be interesting. That will definitely make it interesting at the end of the race. As Cal puts up the fastest lap of the race. Cal now 6 seconds clear of Wild Fury. So his advantage has extended even more on this new set of tire. Linsman on the alternate strategy started on the hard tires is now leading the race, and in just a few laps he will need to pit for the medium tires, and let's say there is a safety car, he's going to be a big winner out of that.
Yeah, but a safety car, I mean, would a safety car really happen? A lot of our drivers are very spread out. So and there's quite a big distance between the track and the wall at most of these turns at least. So not
Yeah,
not super likely.
I think the most likely place to have have a crash to cause a safety car is in the sector 3. That's where the walls are the closest.
Yeah, but I mean at that speed, I mean how badly are you gonna crash when you're going so slow?
Uh, Never say never. It is definitely possible.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
As a Mercedes driver myself, I would be hoping for a late safety car. As we see Raz trying to move down the inside, backing out.
Oh,
But now
looking very
he's
close now.
yeah,
Yeah,
DRS just isn't powerful enough by itself for the second straight. It's a relatively short straight compared to the first one.
yeah, not really big enough to make an overtake unless the car ahead has quite a big mistake.
Hal is soon going to be right on the back of Klinsmann. Different strategies, of course, but I'm sure Klinsmann won't make it any easier for Hal to pass him. Klinsmann is about to lap Josh Barnsley. I
Right.
wonder if that gave him DRS. No, it hasn't. So Raz again on the back of Wild Fury, gaining, not using any of his batteries, still gaining.
Yeah, he just can't quite get close enough, and Wild Fury knows that, so he hasn't had to use any battery.
I think both drivers know what they're doing and not investing any of their battery, because if Raz decided to use his battery, he would definitely get past. But then again, at the next lap, he would have a battery disadvantage, and Wild Fury could just repass him. So there's not really any point doing that.
Like Wild Fury is gaining most of his time throughout the S's, which is somewhere where you would expect, as Fred has dirty air through that section, and that's where it will it'll really affect him in those high-ish speed corners. Not exactly super high speed, but high enough. Looks a little bit closer this time though, compared to previous occasions.
Yeah, at the start of the main straight, he's definitely closer. He might just be able to make a move down the inside. As
Yeah, he's
Klinsmann
taking a
picks
look.
up a 3-second penalty. Lots of penalties being thrown around.
As Spanini gets 5 seconds, yeah, for speeding in the pit lane.
Something we haven't spoken too much about. Big Mom Frank up to P5.
Yeah,
Great job from
BMF,
him.
second out of the drivers who are yet to pit. Um, so yeah, it was a very good recovery drive, starting from not a super high position. I believe he started in P10, I want to say,
I
maybe
think it was P12. He's up
P12.
7 spots at the moment.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Also has that 3-second penalty to worry about. Shows you the importance of keeping it clean and avoiding penalties at all costs.
exactly. We have Eric McNerney right all over the back of Cushy.
As Klinsmann has boxed for new tires and
So is Big Mama
Cal
Frank.
retakes the lead of the race.
BMF and Eric McNerney also going into the pits for some brand new medium tires. Something I'm interested in seeing is Joe Guron. Where he'll come out compared to these drivers. Comes out ahead of Eric, but will he be ahead? No, he'll be quite far behind Big Mama Frank actually, so strategy not exactly paying off by pitting so early.
Yeah, and he's on the slower tires
Right.
compared to those on the new mediums. So still starting at the back, coming up to P10, not the worst result.
No, definitely very strong recovery drive from him so far. As we have Klinsman coming up on the back of Cushy in the Alfa Romeo. Klinsman on the brand new mediums, Cushy on those old hards. You'd assume he'd pit within the next 2 laps, probably.
Yeah, he might just come into the pits at this lap. Yeah, he does. Gives Klinsman the helping hand of the DRS. Something to note, Ethan Patel behind Klinsman on the hard tire. That is the battle that we will look forward to in a few laps if Ethan Patel can make something happen.
Yeah, Ethan Patel would have to
Mercedes
have.
Red Bull battle.
Yeah, Ethan would have to have quite a mega stint on those hards to make them as fast as the medium tire. So
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough ask for him, but let's just hope he can make something happen for us to enjoy watching.
oh, actually, we've missed this. Freddie Rizal getting past Wild Fury.
Oh, so he has made it happen.
Apologies
Wild
for
Fury
that.
is right on the back of him
Yeah,
with
with 80%.
80%. Man, yeah.
Freddie
I don't think
Rizal,
he would even need
60.
to use any of his battery, and he could still get past.
Well, let's see how much he closes up on this main straight. Starting it at around 5.5 tenths behind. By the end of the straight, yeah, he's gained
It's
about 2 tenths.
3.5. So it main straight is worth about 2 tenths. Oh, he picks up a 3-second time penalty as well.
That's not great
So
for his race, yeah.
so the field has now been even between Raz and Wild Fury, both
Yeah,
of
but
them with 3 seconds.
before, Wild Fury could have just hung out behind Fred for the rest of the race and he would have picked up that P2 spot from him, but now he actually has to make the overtake the hard way, which I'm sure he would have wanted to do anyways before, but now it's a do or die. Now he has to.
Yeah, it does. It does make it a bit more exciting for us as the viewers, but not something that the driver would want. Something to mention, Saira in P4 having a clean race so far, no penalties, no major incidents, just running his clean race. It started P6 up to P4 and just doing a great job for his team principal.
Yeah, he hasn't
Luke
really
Locklear
been.
is going to be really happy.
Yeah, he hasn't really been near anyone this race. Just running on his own, which is always a bit boring. But when the end of the race comes and you come out in a good position, it doesn't really matter how the race went.
Yeah. Some of the best races, some of the best performances are usually boring and dominating.
Exactly. Yeah.
But as long as they give you points, I don't think it should matter. Labib finally pitting in for the medium tires.
Yeah, Labib extended those hards quite a bit.
Let's see how many spots he can make up. His teammate Kushi in P10.
Wild
He was
Fury
ahead, I
absolutely
believe.
saving up his battery at 100% almost as he crossed the line, as Spanini gets another 3 seconds. Actually, take a look at
Yeah,
all the penalties so far.
it's penalties galore at Mexico this week.
Yeah, Raz, Wild Fury, Klinsman, Ethan Patel, Big Mama Frank, Eric McInerney, Labib, and Nadal all with 3 seconds. Joe Guron and Keisler, Josh Barnsley with 6 seconds. Spanini with 11 seconds of penalties.
I wonder what's going on in Raz's mind at the moment. Does he know about Klinsman's battery advantage, Wild Fury's battery advantage, or is he just running his own race and hoping for the best at the end?
I'm sure he's at least somewhat aware, as Wild Fury actually got a much better exit than Freddie Rizal on this latest lap. But I'm sure he's aware. I'm sure he has engineers telling him. But it's like Wild Fury didn't even use any battery on the main straight that time, so that's a little bit questionable. He was very close to the back of
Yeah,
Fred,
and
and he didn't use any battery.
Raz Raz invested a lot of his battery, about 20%, I believe, to stay ahead. The DRS appearing to be quite powerful.
Joe Guron putting on the soft tire. Very interesting.
Can the softs even make it 10 laps? That's going to be a
Yeah,
big ask from them if you ask me.
yeah, I think so.
I'll be back in just a moment.
Yeah, sure thing. Wild Fury still patiently waiting behind the back of Freddie Rizal. Nothing super crazy going on. The only real battle that we have on track at the moment is this battle between Raz and Wild Fury. Everyone else has seemed to just spread out by quite some big margins. Cal, who we haven't talked about really that much this race, leading by a staggering 7.5 seconds. Excellent drive from him so far. And then between third and fourth, the two Mercedes are separated by 7.8 seconds as Klinsman sets the fastest up in the race so far. The 1:18.2 mega lap from him, which will give Mercedes an extra point in the constructors' standings as well. But yeah, some very big gaps, which unfortunately doesn't encourage great action and entertainment. But that's just the way some races are sometimes.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but still good to see a driver performing at his best, dominating the entire field. Something to note is Saira is within 3 seconds of Klinsman, and Klinsman has that time penalty. So I wonder if he's gonna be able to make the gap wider and get out of the 3 seconds from
Yeah,
Saira.
Klinsmann will have to make the most out of those medium tires for these next couple laps, because he doesn't want that to get to that point where the mediums and the hards are about the same before that 3 second gap is formed. So he's going to want to be doing that as fast as possible.
And he seems to be increasing the gap. And Saira has not a lot of battery, but neither does Klinsmann. So
Saira, one of the only drivers, just one of 4 drivers in this race that hasn't gotten a penalty. So props to him.
for sure. Wild Fury once again within 4 tenths and with the full battery ready at his disposal.
Yeah, it's a bit odd that Wild Fury hasn't already went for an overtake attempt on Raz. I mean, he's been very close and he's had a significant battery advantage to the point where even if Wild Fury dumped half of his battery, he'd still have about the same battery as Fred. So I'm really not quite sure why he hasn't gone for it yet.
So if you think about it, P1 is out of question, right, for Raz and Wild Fury, considering that Cal doesn't have any unfortunate incidents, but maybe Wild Fury is thinking long term and probably thinking about passing Raz on the last lap or something like that. Because if he passes Raz and Raz sticks with him, then he's just going to be able to repass him.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Wild Fury could still could stay ahead of Raz. I mean, Raz has been staying ahead of Wild Fury for now, and really hasn't been using any battery to do so. So if Wild Fury were to pass Raz, he'd have plenty of battery to use to defend. But yeah, that could definitely be it.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't want to let Raz harvest some ERS
Right.
with the help of the DRS.
Yeah, possibly.
Might be the big brain move in this Mexican Grand Prix in D3. We shall find out just soon enough. For me as a driver, it's just too tempting to have a full battery and not use it at all. I don't know how these guys do it.
Yeah, I know. It's very inviting to have a full battery and to only be 2 tenths behind another driver.
Yeah. Wild Fury is actually backing off. I heard the engine braking.
Yeah.
He lifted off quite a while before the corner. So I think he might just be doing what I said. He might be staying behind and probably going to try and pass Raz in the last couple of laps. I wonder if Fred's engineers are going to tell him that.
Yeah, I'd assume so. I'd assume. I'd guess that Fred's engineers are watching this broadcast, and I'd assume that they're thinking, okay, well, we've heard what the commentators are saying. Maybe that's what will happen, and if that's the case, Fred, start saving some battery so you can maybe defend on the last lap. Fred
Yeah,
with
he has
54%.
some battery that maybe he can defend. Okay, Wild Fury is now using some of his battery, but not a lot. But that has, yeah, I don't think that's enough to pass. But maybe just making Raz think that he's making the move.
Yeah, perhaps he's going to be forcing Fred into a mistake.
Or forcing him into using his battery to defend.
Right.
Seems like quite a smart play from Wild Fury to be.
But if you're Fred, do you think maybe it'd be smart to play some Saudi Arabia tactics that Leclerc and Verstappen were pulling earlier this year.
Yeah, it might be wise, but I don't know if you can pull it off as smoothly as Yano Opli in
Right,
F1 Esports last
right,
season.
right. Yeah,
And it's
it's
the exact same
difficult and it's
track, yeah,
risky.
for sure. So since we don't have a lot of battles on track at the moment, uh, and it's the Mexican Grand Prix, I would like to ask you, what is your favorite Mexican food? Oh,
Oh my!
wait a minute. We can leave that for later as Wild Fury is going side by side with Raz through turn one and two.
And three as well. Rez is
Yeah.
giving him some space. And Wild Fury's just had to back out just a little bit. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah,
What
now Wild Fury with less battery and behind Freddie Rizal.
that's
Fred,
yeah,
but only has 20% battery remaining.
yeah, that seems like a bit of a half-hearted move to me from Wild Fury. He should have committed to the overtake if he actually wanted to get Bass
Yeah,
and
yeah,
use a bit more of his battery.
yeah. I totally agree. I think that if you're gonna make a move, you can't half commit, because if you half commit, then what you're doing is you're staying behind realistically, and you're using a lot of battery. So yeah,
It's
definitely not something that you want to do. As we have a Red Bull spun around. That's Ethan
oh
Patel with no front wing. Oh no, Ethan's
wow.
gonna have to pit. 2 laps left remaining in this race, and Ethan Patel is unfortunately, after quite a decent recovery drive, dropping down to 10th place on this last lap, is now going to be
As
after
Wild Fury
going
has
down.
made the move. Sorry to
Right,
interrupt, but Wild Fury has made the move on Raz and is now ahead.
Wild Fury now with 40% battery. So I wonder, does this invite Fred to save battery for these next 2 laps, and then maybe go for a grand finale on lap 36?
I'm not sure if he will be able to save that much battery. He is down to 10%.
It'd be a bit of an ask to try to save that much battery. Yeah, if he doesn't use any, um, not entirely sure of the battery recharge rates at this track. Maybe around 10%, maybe a little more, 15 maybe per lap.
Yeah, it's a tough ask, but yeah, unfortunate for Ethan Patel. And maybe he just spun out on the S's. That's quite a tricky section. This is going to give Mercedes the edge in the constructors' battle going on at the moment.
Yeah, definitely with Ethan Patel dropping down to 10th place. That's very unfortunate for him and for Red Bull.
Yeah, at least he'll get the fastest lap, or he should get the fastest lap on those soft tires, but we'll see.
Yeah.
As Joel Guron, I believe, might just be retiring in the pits because, yeah, he has it. I'm not sure what's going on. He picked up 15 seconds of penalties on that in lap.
Besides besides being influential for the constructors championship in Division 3, Ethan Patel dropping down also has a big effect on the combined constructors championship, losing a potential, well, he dropped 4 places, so around 8 points, to Ferrari in the combined constructors.
Yeah, that might be a key moment later on in the season.
So we're going on to lap 36. Freddie Rizal versus Wild Fury. They have very, very similar batteries. Will Freddie be able to make a move? Freddie using his battery, dumping as much as he can. Wild Fury not using that much. Or actually, he's actually dumped pretty much his entire battery as well. But Raz just can't get close enough. Will he be able to down this second straight?
Yeah, he needs a great exit out of this corner, and just maybe he can make a move down the inside.
I don't think it was good enough. It was not good enough. So it looks like this might be your finishing order.
Let's
Unless
see at
one of these
least.
two drivers makes a mistake.
Yeah. Who knows? The third DRS rate is also can be an overtaking point, but it's unlikely.
Yeah, coming out of the S's, doesn't look like it, as Ethan Patel does set the fastest lap. But it is this man who we have not gone on board with all race, really. How? In the Red Bull, winning by a dominating 5.5 seconds here in Mexico for the D3 round 9 race. What a brilliant race from him. Absolutely dominant. Wild Fury coming home P2. Raz P3. Klinsman P4. Voltages P5. Spanini P6. Sorry, Big Mama Frank P6.
Big Mama
Spanini
Yeah.
P7, but he's going to be moving down to P8 post penalties.
It's really great drive from Big Mama Frank. We love to see it.
Yeah, definitely. Really good drive, actually. Oh, Eric McNerdy's run out of fuel on the
Oh,
last
no.
lap. So, but he still jumped Spanini on, but yeah, very unfortunate for Eric McNerdy to run out of fuel on the last lap.
Doesn't look like it affected his race at all. But yeah, that's not something we would want to see. As I think Labib might be out of fuel too.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, he was really slow at the end. Anyway, Cal with the dominant drive of the day.
So, yeah, who would you
Lots of
say is
praise
your
for him.
driver of the day?
For me, yeah, I think the game has it right this time. It's Big Mama Frank. Started P12, finished P5, I think.
P6.
Yeah, P6. Still solid drive from him.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm gonna have to agree. Another driver that I could give it to is Cal. Just, dominant in
Right.
qualifying, really.
Okay.
Dominant in the race. Just excellent, excellent drive from him. Untouchable today.
For sure. Also another contender is Saira,
Yeah.
keeping it clean and just sticking with it, staying out of trouble. Great drive from Saira as well.
Alright, so let's take a look at the race director, just in case anyone needs to make any tickets. Just gonna scroll through it there for you. Lots of
Lots of time penalties.
yeah.
So now I'm gonna continue my question. The one that I asked you, what is your favorite Mexican dish? And I will be asking the same question to all our drivers who will be interviewing today.
I think that's probably the most important question that they could be asked today after the race. Um, Man, most favorite Mexican food. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
as
I love tortas. I love tortas. I'm not gonna lie. A nice torta is just really hits the spot. So that's what I'm
I
gonna go with.
see, I see. I will keep that answer in mind. As let's get some of our drivers in here and let's see what they have to say about that.
Yeah, we'll start off
Let,
with our P3 finisher, Freddie Rizzo. Yo, Freddie, what is going on, my man?
Currently dying.
Currently dying. Why? What's going on?
I've just got like some virus or like cold or flu right now. I don't really know. But yeah, I ain't been practicing the last 2 days, so I'll take a podium, especially definitely a hard race to not spin out. The track temperature was so cold at the start.
yeah,
Yeah,
it did seem cloudy at the start of the race and it stayed cloudy for the pretty much the end, but that was a great drive from you. You and Wild Fury had quite an interesting battle until the end of the race.
Yeah,
Did
we
you
were
did
just
you
talking
realize
about
that
it.
he was staying behind on purpose and
Oh
wasn't
no, no,
making the
yeah.
move?
Sorry. Yeah, that's what I was doing on the mediums, just trying to like save a battery. Just, to be honest, I tried to like like I wanted to work together so we can catch up with Cal because at the time we were only like 2 seconds away. So I wasn't really trying to make a pass on him. I'm not sure if you knew that at the time, but yeah, I wasn't trying to make a pass on him. I was just trying to work together, really.
Yeah, that was a good battle to watch. Great job
Mm.
from you. So now I would like to ask you the most important question of the
Oh
day.
no.
What is your favorite Mexican dish?
Um, tapas.
That's Spanish.
Tapas.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't even like tapas anyway. Let me just quickly search it up. To go food. I'll probably.
I will
Oh
like.
no, tacos. Tacos. I've
Oh,
had tacos. Yeah.
tacos.
Oh, actually, is quesadillas
Yeah, quesadillas.
Mexican?
Yeah,
Yeah,
quesadillas.
no, it is quesadillas and they bang. Especially my dad's one.
I do love a good quesadilla, which is rare
Yeah,
in India, but yeah.
yeah. You're
Thank you
gonna
for your
ask.
answer.
I was just gonna
Yes.
say you're gonna ask for two people waiting down in the waiting room as well.
Yeah, of
Same
course.
question. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, take it easy.
See you, Fred. Hope you get better.
Yeah.
Now
That's good.
let's get our P2 finisher in Wild Fury.
Hey, Wild Fury, how are you doing today?
Doing well, doing well.
So, yeah, really, we just talked to Fred about this, of course, but interesting battle between you two today. Looks like it was just a battle of patience and battery management. The whole time, were you aware of Fred's battery situation ahead of you? Was this the plan the whole time? Walk us through it.
I had no idea what his battery situation was. I was just saving mine, because that's what I like to do. But I was hanging behind him for a good part of the race after the pit stops, pretty much until the last 4 laps because I was severely underfueled. I needed about an extra lap of fuel to finish the race, or 1 lap's worth of fuel to finish the race. So I was just drifting and coasting behind him using the DRS to help tow me along until I got to a point where I was where my fuel target would finish the race, and then I attacked with about 3 or 4 to go.
So was that did you gamble on a safety car or something, and is that why you were underfueled, or
No, just poor strategy. Just a bad guess. Didn't have much time to practice, so
yeah, we saw two
uh,
people run out of fuel across the line, so it
yeah,
wasn't just you today.
I was trying to save fuel from lap probably 14 to 34 or 32. So it was a struggle out there, and it was just like you said, a race of patience, I guess.
Yeah, now it does make a lot more sense than initially when we saw you do that on the broadcast. You were hanging behind for most of that race. But yeah, solid drive from you. Great ERS management. But now the most important question I would like to ask you is, what is your favorite Mexican dish?
What is my say that question again, please?
What is your favorite Mexican dish? Your favorite Mexican food?
I have to go with enchiladas, or my wife would be disappointed. So I'll go with enchiladas.
Great answer
Solid
and a great
choice.
drive.
Thank you.
Hopefully see you again next week on the podium as well.
Yeah, hopefully. Thanks for
Congrats.
commentating.
Cheers. Yep.
Bye.
All right, now we're gonna be bringing in our race winner. You've seen him here quite a few times already. We got Cal, our race winner today for the Mexican Grand Prix. Cal, how are you doing today?
Pretty good, man. Track felt good. Car felt good. Cruised around. Had some fun.
Well, that's always glad to hear. You had just an absolutely dominant performance today. Pole in qualifying by I believe 3/10 around there.
Yeah.
I want to say you led every lap of the race except for the pit stops, really. And yeah, you won by a huge margin, 5.5 seconds too. So was this expected, or did you think you were going to be fighting a little bit more?
I wasn't sure what to expect really. I mean, last week they were right on. I couldn't beat them last week. They were quicker, but I don't know, man. I just had the pace today. I mean, I like the last, I mean, it was a safe race too. Like I played it safe the whole time. I didn't push, other than maybe the first 5 or 6 laps. Because like when I got my gap, I was really worried about crashing because it's pretty easy to do here. So I just cruised around,
Yeah, it was very evident.
maintained the
with your-
gap.
Yeah, it was pretty evident with your lack of time penalties. We assumed that you were pushing insanely hard. Just you had the gaps to just keep it safe. Um,
I didn't get one warning that race.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that was a really dominant drive from you, and love to see a Red Bull driver dominating.
Oh
We
yeah,
have seen that a lot in the past as well, from you and from other drivers, and it's always great to watch.
I I disagree. Sid has a very important question to ask you.
Yes, of course. This is the most important question we have ever asked in an interview. So, what is your favorite Mexican food? Your favorite Mexican dish?
quesadillas.
Quesadillas. Okay,
Same as
so we
Fred.
have a repeat question, repeat answer. Yeah.
Like quesadillas, like stacked with stuff, like all kinds of stuff in it.
What kind of stuff we talking?
Dude, everything. Like guacamole. I mean, I like them all. Like everything. Tomato, like all the stuff.
You
all
don't
the
discriminate?
veggies.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
just give me everything, and yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like, I haven't had one bad quesadilla. Actually, I have, but I made it, so
Yeah,
that's pretty bad.
wait till you come to India, and you will have a lot of bad quesadillas. But anyway, that was a great drive from you, and hopefully see you again here next week.
Yeah, I think that deserves a celebratory quesadilla.
Yep, I
So,
think so
For
too.
sure.
Go for it. All right, Cal. Have a good night, my man.
Thanks, guys.
Sid, before we end this broadcast, what's your favorite Mexican dish?
So I'm gonna be honest, I haven't had a lot of Mexican food as we just don't have that much here in India. But yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Cal and Freddy Razel that quesadillas are some of the greatest, the food I've ever had. Like I love quesadillas.
Yeah. All right. Very solid pick.
Yeah.
Solid pick. So I believe that's all for tonight. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for tuning in on the stream. Coming up soon, we have the Division 2 race where Sid will be competing in around a half hour. We have the Division 1 race tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, where you'll see myself competing. Make sure to stay tuned for those. Make sure to watch those and cheer both of us on. And like, subscribe, all that normal stuff.